Hey guys, one of the questions I get asked all the time is how did I get into chiropractic? And so I want to share a few minutes today just about my story, how I got to where I am, right now. And so growing up, unfortunately, my family didn't know about chiropractic. And so because of that, I struggled with quite a few health issues. I dealt with chronic ear infections. And so I went through several rounds of tubes in my ears. I was put on antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic. And knowing what I know now about ear infections, most of them are viral. And so taking an antibiotic basically does nothing for a virus, but what it does do is it makes you more susceptible to getting more ear infections. And it also weakens your immune system, so that made me more susceptible to having really bad sinus issues. And I also developed really bad allergies. And so I did what most people do at that point is I turned to medications. And so I was taking things like Claritin and Sudafed and whatever I could to basically mask or cover up the symptoms, but I was never really addressing the root cause of the problem. And one of the hardest issues for me was going above and beyond just all the doctor's visits and medications that I was taking was really the fact that I was the only kid growing up that I can really think of that had to go through that. And living in Minnesota, we spent a lot of time in the summers, out on the lake, on the boat, swimming, things like that. And I was the only kid that had to wear earplugs in my ears every time that we were even close to water. I had to wear a swimming cap. And it was kind of frustrating because I felt like a black sheep a little bit and not being able to fit in with the other kids and just be a normal kid and do normal stuff. And so that went on for basically for years, and it wasn't until when I was in high school and my mom happened to be in a car wreck and end up in a chiropractor's office. And at that point she started to learn some of the things that we're able to share with our patients right now. And she's like, hey, I think you really need to go in and talk to my chiropractor, learn a little bit more about this. This is right when I was trying to figure out what I want to do for college and for a career for the rest of my life. And I didn't know anything about chiropractic. And so I started to do a little research on my own first just to kind of get familiar with it. And I realized that, hey, this makes so much sense how your brain and nervous system runs everything in your whole entire body. And if the spine is out of alignment even just a little bit, then that affects the messages in that brain to body connection. And that can cause symptoms, but also just causes the body not to function optimally. And so I started to shadow my mom's chiropractor, started to get adjusted myself personally. And even though I thought that I was healthy because I wasn't really having a lot of pain, I thought I was just dealing with the normal allergy issues. That's just kind of what people have to go through. And I started to notice that, hey, my allergy problems are going away. I'm getting sick less often now, and my performance in my sports is doing much better. And this is like totally amazing. And so I was just looking back, I was like, man, how come my family didn't know about this when I was younger? Like what difference would that have made in my life, but also with their life as well, having to go to the doctor all the time and all the money that they spent on medications and surgeries and things like that. So knowing what I know now, like I have two boys at home myself, and their upbringing is completely different from what mine looked like as a young kid. They've been getting adjusted and taking care of their spine since birth. It's not because they have any problems, it's because we want to keep it like that and keep them healthy. And so because of that, they rarely get sick. They've never taken a medication in their life, and we want to obviously keep it like that. And so that should really be the norm, and unfortunately that's not the case in our community right now, where we have 1 out of 2 kids already being treated for chronic illnesses right now. So things like ADD, autism, depression, asthma, things like that. These problems are just continuing to increase more and more every single year, and that should not be the case. And so that's why we're very passionate about what we do here and want to be able to share this message with more people in the community, because it's impacted my life, but I know it's going to impact yours as well. So that's my story, and hope you enjoyed hearing that.